So spring cleaning is a thing, but spring tends to be one of the better times for astronomy. Rather than doing spring cleaning, I think this is a bit of midwinter cleaning. So yeah, what do you guys clean out of your stuff every year? Or do you? Do you just accumulate like I have been? And what's your minimal pack to carry with you if you're going out with your telescope? So most of this stuff consists of various power adapters, cables, extension cords. I've got some short Vixen dovetails there that I don't really use. I've got my solar film, some hand warmers, Barlow lens or two. I've got a whole bunch of cheap eyepieces that I will never use. I've got empty boxes from things that I was using, things that I'm not going to be using anytime soon, like these diagonals. Since I've got some spares, a lot of old cabling that I needed at one point and I've since replaced. And over here, Nikon camera, a tire inflator, and birdseed that has nothing to do with astronomy. So out of all of this stuff, what I've realized is I only need a handful of things to actually use when I'm either out observing visually or with my astrophotography rigs. And all the stuff that I've pared down is basically this. First up, a couple of pretty important items. Here is my power supply wiring. So I've got a 12 volt AC, or rather I've got an AC to 12 volt 20 amp power adapter, which is now powering all of my equipment. And to that I have an extension cord with a voltage regulator that goes with the power adapter. So that I just carry with me. I have a couple of extension cords. These would be when connecting to AC power or to my battery, which has an inverter built in. I love them. Very useful, very necessary. Light. Actually, I have a couple of lights. Zip ties. Never leave home without zip ties. And electrical tape or duct tape, or both. So here's my box for astrophotography. In here I have a little Batinov mask for use with my 300mm lens and or with my camera lenses. Here I've got a box containing my visual back. This is a box with my Barlow lens, T adapter and T-ring if I ever need to image with my DSLR. Got a couple of spare filter trays and a box of filters. So all sorts of filters for imaging, the power supply for my laptop. That's it for this box. That's really all I find that I've been using for imaging for the last couple of years. Next up, box for visual astronomy. So here, I said visual, but if you ever want to take an image, a little cell phone adapter, some spare eyepieces, and visual filters. So I've got a couple of newer visual filters, various RGB, planetary, moon filters, sky glow filters. And then here, this is the one I use most often. It's a UV IR cut filter, and here's a UHC LPR filter. So it's a high contrast filter it does an okay job when looking at things like nebula. But I prefer using the UV IR cut filter by itself. A bag of silica to keep everything dry, cat, a L bracket for binoculars, a couple of AC adapters for visual telescopes, and 2 other eyepieces that I use. So my main eyepiece is a 25mm, this is a 12mm, and a 32. So all of this goes back in the box and should be good to go. Okay, next box, we have a bunch of odds and ends. So here's the more useful odds and ends. I have a wireless router that runs off of USB power. So that is to connect my mini PC if I can't connect it through its own hotspot. Emergency light. So this is a crank operated emergency flashlight, just in case. Mouse. Multi-tool, always useful to have around. Another headlight, and a Pegasus dew heater band and controller that runs on 12 volt for the 6-inch. Now I usually have a dew hood and that's enough. This is for emergencies or for windy situations. A spare clip for a cell phone adapter if I'm taking any videos. And here I've got the Xbox controller, which I used to use to control my 6-inch telescope via CPWI. Next up, another box of odds and ends. Power supply for my battery, so to charge battery. I have a roll of electrical tape in parchment paper so it doesn't stick to anything. A locking cable for the laptop if I ever needed to lock it and leave it. Little glove lamps. Here we've got a compass, a bunch of extra tools, spare batteries, tape for whatever reason. I actually use the tape to secure my bat-nav mask and or my diffuser for taking flats. This is a little rubber wrench that I use to tighten the scope or untighten anything that needs to be untightened. Spare wiring just in case, and a couple of extra cables, data cable for the Nikon, and a couple of cables for the camera, for the cooled camera that is. I think that's pretty much everything I would need to carry with me there. I'm not packing it all that tight because I need to be able to get in and out of these boxes at night. Next up, I've got my solar filter. That's the Eclipse Smart solar filter for the 6-inch telescope. A quick access box of things that I would need right away. So screwdriver and some bolts that I would need to bolt the telescope to my pier outside. So that's quick access and a quick USB charger. Next up, we've got a pack of hand warmers. If you're out in the winter. Wireless, cordless rather, keyboard and touchpad. This here is a touchscreen, a USB touchscreen to work with the mini PC. So that plugs in through a USB cable directly to the mini PC. That way I can control the mini PC wired if I don't want to worry about setting up a hotspot. Laptop for controlling my other rig. And then a whole bunch of odds and ends when it comes to various instruction manuals that I really don't use, but they're in here. I suppose I can put them away. And I have my bat-nav mask and my diffuser for taking flats. So those all sit in here. Finally, a couple of bags of things. So this is a quick grab bag for the Nikon for taking time-lapse pictures of the night sky. So in here I've got a lens warmer. I have an AC adapter, so it powers the camera all night. That's just the charging cube for the lens warmer. And I have an intervalometer, which I find is a lot more stable than using the time-lapse function on the camera. So that's all in a quick bag. This is for my Frankenstein mount. So this one here has a smaller AC to 12-volt adapter, a data cable for the camera, and a data cable for everything else going through a USB hub. And then over here is, oh, can't forget this. So this is the lens cleaning kit and a sensor cleaning kit. Need to carry that around. Bag of Velcro, absolutely necessary. And this one here I can probably pare down on, but all sorts of covers and bags. So you never know when you need to cover up in a hurry. I've got some large, very large garbage bags in here. I've also got a large telescope cover and a smaller cover for the telescope controller for when I'm out in the sun doing solar. The controller heats up and then it doesn't function as well, so I cover that up. Based on everything that I've used for the last couple of years, I think this is all I would need to take with me. Like I said at the outset, I was expecting less, but it turns out there's a lot of useful stuff here that you never know that you might need. The only thing I forgot was a towel. Never leave home without one. If anyone has any suggestions for what else you think would be useful or that you use on a regular basis, let me know in the comments below. That's it for now. Waiting for the weather to improve. Until next time, clear skies.